Okay, perimeter and area. You learned perimeter and area, I don't know, elementary school, right? The entire distance around the polygon, that's called the perimeter. How do you find perimeter? Just in general.
Add all the sides.
Yeah, add all the sides. Add all the sides together. The region enclosed by an object is called the area. The only two things we're really going to work with are rectangles and triangles. We're going to take the big pictures and we're going to cut them up into rectangles and triangles and squares. So, what's the area formula for a rectangle?
Base times height.
Thank you. Base times height. Base and height should make a right angle of some sort. Okay, base times height. Length times width, same thing. What's the area formula for a triangle? Yeah, some teachers teach it base times height divided by 2. You could say 1/2 base times height. For some reason, some people think the 1/2 is scary. Or what ends up happening is they take half of both. That's a quarter. So, just make sure when you make a triangle, the base and the height have to make a right angle. They have to be perpendicular. Okay? So, our only example today. Go ahead and plot ABCDE. Go ahead and plot ABCDE. I will say in this class, nobody on the quiz plotted wrong. That did happen in some other classes. And then connect ABCDE. There's an E. We're going past just four-sided figures now. Oops, sorry. So, it is a pentagon. Kind of looks a little bit like a house. The question is, find the perimeter and the area of this picture. So let's do perimeter first. Okay, now the thing is, there's some sides that'll be easy for you to find the length of. Like A to B, you can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A to B is 5. A to E, you can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. D to E, you can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem is B to C and C to D. So, what do you think I'm going to do if I want to find the length from B to C and C to D? Which formula that we've been working with in this chapter? Distance. Or you can make it a triangle and do Pythagorean theorem. But let's do distance. So, we gotta do distance from B to C first. So square root. I think I see the orange. Okay, B to C. So 1 minus a negative 3 squared plus 6 minus 3 squared. What happens to the negative? Negative. Positive. So we get 4 squared plus 3 squared. Four squared plus 3 squared is square root of 25. So 5. So even though it doesn't look like it, B to C is also 5. So you won't have to do distance formula for like every side, hopefully. Maybe just one or two. Then I got to find from C to D. So 7 minus 1 squared, 3 minus 6 squared. What's 7 minus 1? 6 squared plus negative 3 squared. I still had people yesterday, whenever it's a negative number squared, give me a negative answer. And then their distance formula was wrong. Remember, the calculator, if you don't put parentheses, will do it wrong. Because the calculator just squares it and puts the negative. You have to either use parentheses, or somebody else did this. Just know distance cannot be negative. Whenever you square something, it's positive. So 36 plus 9, which would be the square root of 45. Now here's the thing with problems like this. You actually have to find the decimal answer, because we're going to add them all together. So square root of 45 is 6.71. Okay, so C to D is 6.71. So my perimeter, just add all 5 sides together. And perimeter, you can just use P. 5 plus 5 plus 6.71 plus 5 plus 10. So just add all 5 sides together. And you get 31.71. If I gave you units, like let's say the units here were feet, what would my units be of perimeter? You're just adding. Yeah, they just stay feet. Let's just put feet just because. Okay. So that's perimeter. Now, area, what you're going to do. We don't teach you the area formulas for like all the different kinds of shapes because there's way too many, and you really, if you can break it down, you'll be okay. Yes. Yes. So what you want to do when you see a shape like this, you want to cut it up so that it makes rectangles and triangles. So where can I draw a line where I'll have a rectangle and triangles? If I draw a line, good, from B to D, I can find the area of this rectangle, and I can find the area of this triangle and add them together. You can always draw a line from C down. We'll get there. So start with the rectangle, ABDE. So I always write it like this, area, and then I draw a little rectangle. Because we did perimeter first, the perimeter is really going to help us. Because what's the base and the height of my rectangle? 5 and 10. So yeah, so it's 5 times 10, which is 50. The triangle is the tricky part. The base of my triangle is how long? 10 from B to D. The height of the triangle is not 5 or 6.71. The height is from C down. This is the height of the triangle because it's got to make a right angle. So how big is that height? 3. So the area of my triangle is going to be 3 times 10 divided by 2. Okay, does that make sense? The base is that 10, the bottom, the height, the perpendicular. Which turns into what? 15. So the total area, add them together. 65. Let's stick with our units. What would the units be if everything was a foot? feet squared. Think about area as square feet. When your parents buy a home, it tells you how many square feet there are in the house. Okay, questions?